and welcome to A Brand New Day with BTS, a podcast dedicated to bringing you a day-by-day history and song discussion of the South Korean music group internationally known as BTS. In this episode, I talk about May 7th in BTS history, the songwriting process and the unreleased demo Quotation Mark from the album Proof, as well as the kickoff of the world tour. Recent BTS activity, April 16th to May 4th. As a reminder, this is just high-level group activity, and it's only official sources. I might talk about some particularly notable social media posts, but I'm not going to discuss every single Instagram post because there are too many, especially since I have to have my episodes further apart at the moment. We'll go in chronological order because that's how my notes are. Rolling Stone finished publishing their interviews with each BTS member. They're all great, so go check those out if you haven't already. BTS performed at their concerts in Japan, in Tokyo, Japan, and they had a great time because there are way stricter no cell phone policies in Japan. So the audience was more engaged than the Korean audience, and you could tell BTS really appreciated it. Now, before anybody comes at me, that doesn't mean that the entire Korean audience was disengaged. I just mean that from my impression, it seemed like more people were engaged in Japan. I know there's lots of people, I know some of them, who were having the time of their life in the Korean audiences. Ironically, I read online that a lot of Japanese fans go to Korea so that they can have their phones out. So I guess the no cell phone policy in Japan helps and hurts the cause in some ways, but at least while they're in Japan, they don't have to worry as much about performing only to still cameras. Unfortunately, we got a bit of sad news in Japan as well. Right when J-Hope arrived, he got the news that his grandmother, who had helped raise him as a child, had passed away. It was very kind of him to continue with the concert and not just rush home. It must have been very hard not to be with his family, but I'm glad his second family was around him. It did mean, however, that there were no Weverse live streams after the Japan concert dates because BTS all hurried back to Korea immediately. On YouTube, Maple Story, the video game, published episode 2 of their collaboration with Jin. This time Jin visited the Maple Story themed special event at Lotte World with surprise guest Bomgyu from TXT because Jin is just friends with him and he wanted to go too, so that was very cute. While they were in Japan, RM and V did have time to go to a Pokemon-themed amusement park, and RM did some art visits, I believe. On the Bangtan TV YouTube channel, they posted the BTS swim dance practice sketch, which lets us see snippets of them learning and practicing the choreography. It's really cool to see the level of detail that they pay attention to, and also dance leader Jung Ho-suk in full form. Before they left for the US and where the next stop of their tour is, Jin also had time to play an NPC in a special in-game Maple Story event. Some streamers recorded it, and it seems like it went off very well, and he was a hit with that community. Then BTS traveled to the US, all the way to Tampa, Florida, for the first stop in the first North American section of their tour. They had a few days to recover from jet lag and practice at the venue and also do some sightseeing and play some pickleball. And while they did that, episode 1 of the reboot of Run BTS aired, where it seems we're on a little retreat as we further discuss what direction Run BTS should go in the future. In the first episode, it was mostly picking rooms and then a pillow fight because sleepovers in your 30s is the new secret fountain of youth and happiness. They also posted a couple of dance challenges for other Hybe label artists that had comebacks recently from their Florida hotel rooms, including J-Hope doing one for Cordes' song Red Red and RM and JK posting ones for the Seraphim's song Celebration. Or is it Celebrate? I think it's Celebration. They did 3 nights in Tampa and they were all amazing. The crowd was super good and you could tell that BTS were really getting all that great energy from the crowd. After the final concert in Tampa, Suga, J-Hope, and Jimin did a Weverse live stream from Suga's hotel room while they enjoyed an after-concert crab-themed dinner. V also joined them for a bit. They talked about a lot of things, but mostly the concert energy and how surprised They've been by the Energy in Japan and Tampa so far, and how it seems like the American audience really do just come for a party, which they're really happy about. J-Hope is looking forward to Mexico City, which he was blown away by on his solo tour, even though he was sick at that time. Suga knows that Mexico is one of their top listeners when it comes to numbers, too. They also talked about the increased number of male ARMY they're seeing in the audience and how they initially thought they were there as reluctant boyfriends, husbands, and fathers, but then saw them singing along too and getting just as excited. It just goes to show you that people always look down on things women like until they realize we actually know what's good. Men being there really does show that BTS is hitting the general public level of fame and not just the smart, beautiful women demographic who know what's good before everybody else. Really, the smart, beautiful woman demographic is the Cassandra of good taste. And yes, I've decided if you're a woman who likes BTS, that automatically makes you beautiful. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Anyway, I'm off track. We also discovered in the live that other than Jimin's mother, no one supports him having long hair, which is a travesty because he's gorgeous. So once again, smart, beautiful women know best. Suga cut his hair because he's under some weird belief that only one member of a group can have long hair at a time, which is a pretty weird arbitrary rule to either exist or to believe exists. Apparently, the other members were also bitching about his long hair, which is another reason he cut it. So, sigh. These boys need some smart, beautiful women in their lives to save their beautiful long hair. I wasn't actually planning to summarize this live, so let's move on. BTS next traveled to El Paso, and we got the second episode of BTS's trip in Run BTS. This time it was filled with more discussion of what they should do in the future over a delicious feast prepared by Jin and Jungkook. The members all suggested different things for each member to do. It ended up with some pretty hilarious and very interesting suggestions or desires expressed. El Paso, being a smaller town, meant BTS had a little less privacy, so I don't think there was as much opportunity for them to enjoy the sights. They were also there for a shorter period of time. The first concert also got off to a late start because of how poorly the venue handled the larger crowd. But the good news is that once the concert started, the crowd energy was fantastic, and you could tell that BTS were loving every second of it. This time, perhaps knowing they were going to be leaving quickly after the final concert, which I'm sure they did, though I don't know for sure, RM, Jin, and V decided to do a live stream after the first concert night rather than the last. It was a great live stream. I'm definitely not going to summarize this one, but V seems to like having philosophical or hypothetical discussions if he's doing a live stream with other members, especially what they call the restaurant crew, which is usually RM, Jin, V, and J-Hope, which is the unit of BTS that likes going out to eat the most. RM and Jin explain that V is their resident cultural advisor who finds all the fun things to do and cool places to eat wherever they go. And they get to have more fun during the tour than just being trapped in their hotel room the whole time. Jin said several times during the live stream that he's very, very happy during this tour and is having so much fun with the more relaxed pace of it. RM, meanwhile, is still adapting, still having a little trouble sleeping, and feeling a little bored in hotels too often. But yeah, again, not summarizing because they talked about a bunch of things, such as reincarnation, dreams, and the state of J-Hope's special wild honey supply. Of course, if you want super amazing concert photos, please go check out the members' Instagrams. Also, J-Hope posted a video with RMJK to Stick With You by TXT. V posted a selfie video with the soundtrack You by TWS. A funny dance challenge to Illit's new song, It's Me. So BTS continue to be supportive senior artists to the entire Hybe Labels crew. Next up, just as I'm recording this, Run BTS episode 3 came out. It's the conclusion of their little trip, and they play some foot volleyball. It's really cute. Next up, BTS are performing in Mexico City tonight, if you're listening to this the day I post it. I know that Mexico City had a lot of trouble with scalpers scooping up all the tickets in the original sale, and I'm not sure if that issue was ever resolved, but I do hope that ARMY were able to get tickets and that J-Hope gets to experience those crowds again while being in better health this time. As I'm about to mention in the history section, it's been a very long time since BTS as a group has performed in Mexico, so I want it to be a great experience for everyone, both ARMY and BTS. This day in BTS history, May 7th. I arbitrarily picked May 7th because it's BTS's first show in Mexico City on the Arirang tour, and I was curious what they were doing in previous years on May 7th, so let's find out together. It'll be funny if the answer is absolutely nothing, and this episode will be the shortest one ever. May 7th, 2013. BTS have dance practice. We know this because just after midnight, so technically on the 8th of May, Suga posts a photo on Twitter of his poor abused feet after practice. May 7th, 2014. RM appears on the Arirang After School Club. Also, a pre-recorded appearance on the radio show SBS Power FM K. Will Young Street airs. May 7th, 2015. RM tweet recommends the song Eternal Sunshine by Jenny Aiko. I might have said that name wrong. RM also films episode 15 of the variety show Problematic Men. I talked a little about this show last week, but it's a fun show to watch if you find the episodes somewhere. It's a panel show where celebs who are known for their intelligence are given riddles and brain teasers to solve. RM is a panelist for one season. In episode 15, he wins a telescope. After filming, RM has to rush off to M Countdown and join the rest of BTS to perform. Before the show, Jimin tweets that he's nervous. V tweets a photo of the elephant he can make on his arm using his arm moles for eyes and pinching the skin between them to mimic a trunk. It's cute. Jimin then tweets about being nominated for first place. Once they win first place, they celebrate by putting on red lipstick while singing the encore. This is what most ARMY mistake for their very first win, but that actually happened 2 days previously on SBS MTV The Show. For the first win, RM got very emotional afterwards, but for this one, it's Jimin who starts crying when they leave the stage. This is also the win where, in his excitement, V started singing Big Bang's song Loser, which some K-pop fans took to mean he was insulting their faves who had lost, when really V was just singing a favorite song of his at the time in excitement and didn't mean anything by it. You can see the behind the scenes of this win on the Bangtan TV YouTube channel or the Bangtan Subs YouTube channel in the Bangtan Bomb after M Countdown first place Yu. All members are active on Twitter posting selfies with the trophy. V also posts a screenshot of his playlist he listens to before bed to show why he had Big Bang's song Loser stuck in his head that day. RM tweet recommends his own song, Do You, and a series of tweet playing with language in I Need You. On TV, Problematic Men episode 11 airs, as well as KBS music video bank Stardust, in which BTS appear. It was pre-recorded. May 7th, 2016. So now we're at 10 years before their concert in Mexico City today. It's the first day of BTS's concert in Seoul per HYYH onstage epilogue. ARMY send them lunch and BTS tweet photos of them eating it and thanking ARMY. They do a couple of V-Live live streams before the concert starts, starting with Jin. He talks about it being their first time ever performing at the gymnastics stadium. Jimin does the next live stream. Fire had just recently been released, so Jimin talks about the comeback and how handsome Jin is, but also how childlike in reality. So Jimin ends up thinking of him like a child rather than a handsome older brother. Jimin also complains about his photo in his merch and how he doesn't think he takes very good photos, that he has to take 30 selfies before he can get one good one, which I kind of find hilarious because he has just complained about that same thing in the live he did after the Tampa concerts. So sadly, this is something that hasn't changed for Jimin, even though ARMY will gladly tell him 1,000 times that he's very good looking and looks great in photos too. JK joins Jimin's live and they place bets on who might cry at the concert. Jimin warns that if J-Hope cries, then Jimin will also cry, and if JK cries, then RM and Suga will also cry. They also briefly talk about how JK improved his dancing by studying in the US before debut, and he briefly fell so in love with dance that he wanted to give up singing. When the concert happens, it turns out that it's Jungkook himself that cries, which indeed does make RM cry. And then Jimin cries, which makes Jin cry, and so on. After the concert, they all tweet their thanks to ARMY along with selfies, including selfies of them enjoying a well-earned meal of chicken. May 7th, 2017. BTS are in the Philippines. Specifically, they're performing their Wings tour in Manila. It's day 2, or the last day of the concerts in Manila. You can see this stop on the tour in episode 6 of their docuseries Burn the Stage on YouTube Premium. This is the stop where Jin begins what becomes his heart events, where during the encore he pulls a surprise heart out of a hidden pocket or a hiding spot. As this is the first one, it's not actually a heart, it's a handwritten I love you sign that he pulls from his pocket. Everyone tweets selfies either before or after the show to thank ARMY for coming. May 7th, 2018. Singularity, the Love Yourself tier comeback trailer, is released. Singularity is a much-loved V solo track written by RM. V learned the choreo over the course of 2 weeks. Jimin would run out of the practice room when it was V's turn to practice because Jimin wanted to be surprised and only see it when it was complete. Jimin does visit V on the set of the filming of the music video, however. After it's released, J-Hope tweets a video of himself watching Singularity on his laptop in the dorm. V also tweets a selfie video showing off his collarbones, which, fair, if I look like V, I'd also sometimes just show off random body parts. May 7th, 2019. BTS are in LA, partway through their Love Yourself, Speak Yourself tour, and it's the day after a day off. JK had gone to an Ariana Grande concert, and he tweets that he enjoyed it and learned a lot. Jin, meanwhile, tweets photos of his trip to Six Flags. JK tweets a video of his workout, and Jimin tweets a video taken previously at soundcheck at the Rose Bowl, likely on the 5th. On this day, BTS do an interview for Radio Disney. If you're super into watching old American interviews, you'll recognize this one as the one where RM was still in the phase where he wanted to eventually be a father and says as much in the interview, to which Suga responds, "You can." RM has since changed his mind last he spoke about it, but who knows what the future will bring. They also film for The Voice, where they run into John Legend after their performance. You can see the behind the scenes of this on the Memories 2019 DVDs. After they meet John Legend, they post a group photo with him. Jimin tweets a selfie video with JK and V taken just after the Rose Bowl concert. That night, even after so busy a day, Suga still has time to go to a Dodgers game, where even those who don't know who he is decide he must be a lucky charm because the Dodgers perform very well. He tweets a selfie with one of the players from the Dodgers after the game. It's a Tuesday, so Run BTS airs. It's part 2 of the BTS in Toronto series, which, speaking as a Canadian, I feel I need to inform you is not actually filmed in Toronto. It was filmed mostly in the Hamilton and Niagara Falls area of Ontario. May 7th, 2020. JK tweets a video of his boxing practice. Jin is active on Weverse, and VRM and J-Hope do a YouTube live log. This was part of the series of lives and video logs that they did while working on the album B, where they brought ARMY into the album creation process as much as they could. VRM and J-Hope make up the visual team for the album, so this is the visual team's update for ARMY. V is the project manager and is in charge of the album photo concepts. Right now, they're wanting to go with a casual look to suit the COVID era, where people are mostly at home. V floats the idea of JK filming the album photo shoot as a GCF, as he did with the seasonal packages between 2018 and 2020. But RM worries that it will be too much stress on JK, and J-Hope points out that once you tell JK to film a GCF, he becomes a cameraman and a director, and it's hard for him to switch gears and also be the subject of a photo shoot as an idol. They come to the conclusion that V can ask, but they should make it clear that they're equally as open to hire a videographer, which is, I believe, the direction they go in. We also learn that Suga is in charge of the album cover, and JK is in charge of the music video. Side note, you may have seen a popular ARMY GIF, or GIF, of RM closing a flip phone and then throwing it down on a table in a manner that suggests annoyance, or at least that's the context people use the clip in. That's from this live. After the YouTube live, V does another live stream on V Live. This is because in the meeting with RM and J-Hope, they asked V why he wasn't taking notes or meeting minutes during their talk, and he said that Army would do it for him. He was right. V's live stream on V Live was spent taking screenshots of the meeting notes that Army had written up while he played music. Now, something important that may have also been happening on this day, though it might have been the day after, I'm not entirely sure, was the filming of Dechuita, the lead track off Suga's second August D mixtape, which would release later that same month. If the MV was shooting on this day, it would have been the very first day of filming. You can see it in episode August D Dechuita MV shooting sketch on the Bangtan TV YouTube channel, or in the Memories 2020 DVD content. RM is actually still revising his verse in the song Strange at this time, which will also appear on the mixtape. And that really gives you insight into like how quick the turnaround is, like the time between finishing a mixtape is to being able to post it on SoundCloud. Between that and how early they have to get an album done in order to release a whole physical album, official studio album. May 7th, 2021. We're now in the second year of the pandemic, and the first year where BTS really didn't expect to still be working and not enlisted. At this point, they've decided to release another English single after the previous year's success with Dynamite. So that's what they're practicing around this time, which is going to be butter. And Army have started getting concept clips for it. However, on this day, we just get 2 tweets and an episode of Run BTS. Technically, it's an episode on Game Caterer's YouTube channel in which BTS is a guest. It's part 2 of their collab, with part 1 having happened on BTS's YouTube channel. Jin tweets a selfie, and J-Hope tweets a lighthearted apology to Conan O'Brien for accidentally calling him Curtin in a speed game of Name That Celebrity that they had played on the show. May 7th, 2022. Big Hit releases the comeback schedule for Proof, which BTS had teased at the end of their Vegas concert the month before. J-Hope shares the information on his Instagram. Meanwhile, RM posts a photo of art. And Suga posts a photo of the family dog, Min Holly's birthday party. May 7th, 2023. With the group work on hiatus due to mandatory military enlistment that's come at last, we're well into solo work now. Jin and J-Hope are both enlisted. RM is recording the lead single, Come Back to Me, for his album Right Place, Wrong Person. You can see his recording session in the documentary RM, Right People, Wrong Place. On Instagram, RM posts a photo of what will become Team RM. Suga, meanwhile, is in North America on his solo tour. On this day, he arrives in LA after having performed in Chicago the night before. He gets an IV to speed along his recovery. You can see this day in D-Day Tour, the original digital code content. May 7th, 2024. A whole year later, the official posters for Come Back to Me are released, as we're only a few days away from the song finally being released to the world. RM is enlisted during the release, along with the rest of the BTS members. So it's Team RM who share the images on a special Instagram set up to promote the album while RM is away. May 7th, 2025. Finally, both Jin and J-Hope are out of the military and hard at work. J-Hope is on his own solo world tour on this day. Big Hit announces that he'll have a finale concert in June at the Goyang Stadium outside of Seoul. J-Hope also does a live to celebrate the announcement, promising that it will be a special concert because it will also be during Festa, the 2-week-long celebration of BTS's birthday. This is also possibly the day that J-Hope and Jin filmed the content for Festa, including BTS News, the Festa photo shoot, and the Sun and Moon themed radio show. And that brings us to this year, where all BTS members are not only free, but back where they belong, enjoying a tour with ARMY. On this day, they will have their first show in Mexico City. It will be their first time performing in Mexico City since KCON took place there in 2017, and the first time performing their own complete concert since way back in 2015 when they performed there during the Red Bullet tour. So this is amazing for Mexico City ARMY. I hope he went there on his own in 2025. And even though he ended up being rather sick for those tour stops, he was super impressed with the crowd energy. And he's spoken already about how excited he is to go back and for the members to experience it too. So I really hope that they have a fantastic show. Song discussion. Quotation Mark. Proof was an anthology album released in June 2022. It marked the end of what's now commonly referred to as Chapter 1. If you listen to the album on streaming, you get about 2 CDs worth of songs, featuring the 3 new studio tracks and a chronology of their hits, plus 2 tracks handpicked by each member as their favorite solo song of their own and group song or unit song. However, if you buy the physical album, you get a 3rd CD. The 3rd CD contains half-finished demos, never released, and alternate versions of some songs that we know and love. Quotation Mark belongs to the former category of unfinished, unreleased demo songs. Wait, you interrupt. If this is only on the physical CD, how can I pause what I'm doing and go listen to it, since you can't play it due to copyright? Well, my friends, I'm glad you interrupted to ask. Although podcast copyright bots are very strict, YouTube copyright bots have favorite children, and so you can luckily go listen to this song on a lyric video on YouTube. I recommend the channel Dial 6137. You can also find it on the playlist located on my YouTube channel, A Brand New Day Pod. Now, back to other questions. What's a demo? Let's talk a little about the songwriting process, with the caveat that I could be wrong about some of this. I'm not a musician, and I'm not in the K-pop industry. My sister is a musician, but she's very much not in the K-pop industry. And also, being a musician doesn't pay cash money, so she currently has an office job and isn't writing demos. So what I'm about to outline comes from me watching BTS interviews, live streams, and documentaries over the years and learning their process that way. So typically, musicians or producers will write what they call a beat, basically composing the bare bones groundwork of a song. This can be done roughly, meant to be improved upon later, or with a lot of attention to detail, basically producing a song that only needs vocal melody laid over top of it. Or sometimes they can do an entire song with a vocal melody as well. It all depends. Eventually, when a group or a singer wants to release music, they'll reach out to the producers they usually work with, or producers they want to work with, or look at their own beats they've filed away if they themselves are a producer, and they'll select a beat that they like, that they think they can write a good melody for, or good lyrics for. Then they'll often work on coming up with a good melody. Jin has talked before about how he personally does this, which is to play the beat and then hum into a recording app on his phone. He'll listen back to them later and either trash them if he doesn't like them on playback, or he'll send them on to the producers to get their opinion. Sometimes, as with rappers, they don't hum a melody, but instead record nonsense words, while they work out how the general cadence is going to sound over the beat. The nonsense words can just be complete gibberish, or sometimes just gibberish interspersed with a lot of swearing, which Jimin has informed us RM and Suga do a lot. But we also know that when RM is composing a song, he'll sing the melodies he wants the vocal line to do himself, even though he doesn't have the same vocal range as them, which leads to some hilarious recordings. Now, these rough sketches, done by just one member, might be referred to demos themselves, such as we see on the Proof album with J-Hope's demo version of DNA. That one has J-Hope doing both rap and singing parts very well because he's amazingly talented like that. But most of the time, those one-person rough sketches are too rough, or they're incomplete. Maybe one member could only think of the first verse and hook, but couldn't come up with a bridge. They might have the other members listen to what they have so far and take a shot at coming up with something. This is how we get the fantastic bridge of Disease, which I talked about in the last episode. Eventually, if a song makes it past this composition stage and they're thinking of recording it for an album, BTS make what was translated recently from an interview with Jin as test recordings. These are another form of demo. It gives them a more complete version to listen to while they consider what will be recorded for the album. Most recently, this is what Jin did for the Aoreorang album. Well, unfortunately, he missed the songwriting process because of his solo tour. He was able to swoop in at the end and record over 20 test recordings for the members and help decide what songs would be on the final album. So whether it's recording the song roughly by just one member or making a quasi-complete recording of potential version of the song in a test recording. These are all types of demos, where the composers of the song are just trying to communicate what their general ideas are for the melody or topic or structure for the initial beat that they either made or were given. For this reason, as we listen to Quotation Mark, we have to keep in mind that some of the song is missing. If we're expecting the typical structure of a pop song, Quotation Mark is missing a bridge and a third verse or an outro. It's also missing a lot of members. We only have RM doing a mix of rapping and singing for the first verse, Jungkook on the chorus to represent all vocalists, and J-Hope trying his hand at a second verse. And then it appears the songwriting stalled out on this song, likely because they decided on other songs for the album and ceased developing this one. Or perhaps they weren't sure where to take it or couldn't find a bridge that sounded cool enough, so they ditched it purposefully and turned their attention to songs that were experiencing a smoother process. So, what do we know about this song? When did they make it? What album could it have potentially been on? We don't know much. The liner notes of the CD tell us that this is a P-Dog beat with P-Dog, RM, and J-Hope working on the composition, which means they just pulled Jungkook into the booth so that the rappers, or P-Dog, didn't have to sing. We can also see from the liner notes that this was recorded likely pre-2018 when RM's studio name was still Mon Studio, before he changed it to Archive. But the biggest clues are the lyrics and the youthfulness of Jungkook's voice. In my opinion, this was likely a contender for either School Love Affair or Dark and Wild, and I'm leaning way more towards Dark and Wild. So this would put it in the 2013 to 2014 era, most likely early 2014 or mid 2014 in the summer. So either in their first year or just the start of their second year. Why do I think that? Let's get into the lyrics. Dulcet doesn't have translations for this one, but Bangtan Subs has come through for me. Of course, you can also find translations in lyric videos or on Genius, but I'm personally going to use the translations from Bangtan Subs as we discuss this because I trust them more. Now, as we go forward discussing the lyrics, we have to keep in mind that we have no idea how done these lyrics were. They could just be random phrases, but given that they had Jungkook come in to sing the chorus properly, I'm willing to bet that they were at least somewhat finalized, at least in terms of theme. Even if these were just rough ideas of mostly nonsense, which I don't think they are, RM still opens up with a philosophical dilemma. He says, "If I die, I'm probably going to hell, because I live my life lying more than a dozen times a day. No book on ethics has ever taught me how to make my feelings true, so I don't know how to be honest." Right off the bat, I'm confused. If you're feeling feelings, certainly those feelings are true. But RM continues, and we start getting the sense that this is about the confusion of young love and perhaps unrequited young love. He says, "I might be your stalker, perhaps an investigator. My heart is a precious jewel. It's been stolen by you anyway. This lump in our relationship, will it come to a full stop? I just put a comma. Even though I keep trying in vain to forget you, tear you up, or wash you out, it doesn't work. It doesn't. What I want on the inside is to welcome you. My lady, welcome to my world. It's just one phrase, but my lips are unwilling to say it. Next to you, a fool like me, I sing of you every second. I want you." So the line is about trying to forget someone, but not wanting to forget them. Perhaps denying that a relationship is over, putting a comma where perhaps there should be a period or a full stop. This is part one of the reason that I think this was intended for Dark and Wild. In School Love Affair, the love songs were very idealistic and romantic, whereas Dark and Wild fully catalogs, in reverse order, a school-age relationship that has fallen apart, which is definitely what it sounds like RM is addressing here. Jungkook does come in with a more hopeful and idealistic chorus, though, singing, "Every time I run into you, every time I needlessly think about you, always like this, I whisper on the inside, if anyone is listening right now, mark me with a quotation marks, so that you can hear me, so that I can confess my feelings for you, oh baby." On the surface, this takes us back to someone who hasn't even confessed their feelings yet, but it could also be that the feelings needed to be confessed are those of regret that a relationship has ended. I do like the premise of the title, with the pleading for your words to be put into quotation marks so that you can be heard, as though without those marks, people won't know that you are speaking. Or maybe it's pleading for the power to put those feelings hidden in your heart into quotes, as in finally saying them out loud. J-Hope continues with the theme of only just meeting this person rather than it being a relationship gone wrong, like in RM's verse. He's rapping as though talking about a person he has a chance to see every day, but who he's only just met. This could be an argument for a school love affair placement. J-Hope sings, "The day after I meet you, I'm filled with regret. It's like the words I didn't say burst into flames. My insides are on fire. My heart isn't a box. Why is it storing you in it? Overnight, I go from kicking my blankets in embarrassment to becoming a demon that wants you." That line about kicking blankets takes me back to Dark and Wild again. Either a coincidental or a purposeful reference to the song Blanket Kick or Embarrassment. If they already had that song set aside to be placed in the album and were writing others, they may have chosen to purposefully reference it. J-Hope continues, "When will it be? I'm constantly, so frequently, in battle with myself. Today I make sure to throw my heart at you first. A safe landing with you, the catcher. I hope for that and move. But when I'm in front of you, I'm behind. I want you so bad. It's almost a wish I'm pleading for. Oh, my genie." Another reason I think this song was destined for Dark and Wild is the similarity in J-Hope's cadence on the lines, "I want you so bad, it's already a wish I'm pleading for, oh my genie," to his lines in Cypher 3 Killer on the lines, "But I felt a bite on my bait, all the unis call me beep beep," which I'm not going to imitate the cadence because I honestly can't do it and I sound ridiculous when I try. But please go listen to Cypher 3, J-Hope's verse, and this quotation mark on YouTube, one of the lyric videos, and you'll hear that similar cadence in one of the lines, and that's the line I'm talking about. And yeah, I'm thinking that when the song was decided against and put on the shelf, J-Hope reused that rhythm immediately when writing his part on Cypher 3 Killer. Though, granted, it could have been several months later, or it could just be a coincidence, who knows. J-Hope finishes his verse with, "Do she love me? Do she love me now? Has this chilling fear frozen all my strength?" An exclamation mark for emphasis, not a question mark of doubt. Just a few words full of sincerity. A big quotation mark of courage. I want it. Again, bringing back the theme of punctuation as a metaphor. In RM's verse, we had a comma instead of a full stop. And in J-Hope's verse, we have an exclamation mark and question marks, as well as the quotation mark that the song is named after. Jungkook sings us the chorus again, and the demo ends there, unfinished. The final reason I think this was meant for Dark and Wild is genre. It would fit in perfectly on BTS's most R&B themed album, which is Dark and Wild. But let me know what you think. Our discussion of quotation mark will end there, since it's not like there are performances or choreography to discuss. Just a memory of BTS madly sketching out R&B songs in a garage in LA while they film American Hustle Life during the day and survive on 2 hours of sleep. If my guess on when they wrote it is correct anyway. It's an amazing contrast to nearly 12 years later when BTS are touring the world with another album they largely wrote in LA, though this time under much better conditions. Next episode, tease time. I'll try to get it out before the end of the month, but the exact date or event I'll talk about will be a surprise because I haven't decided yet. But I am going to spin the random song generator for fun again. As is traditional, I totally forgot to pull it up before I started recording this, so I will do that now. And the winner is... let me find it. Oh, I've already done that. Okay, roll again. And the winner is... I know I should take out the ones that I've already done, but that's actually way more work than it sounds. So I just press the random generator again when they come up. Anyway, and the winner is Neuron by J-Hope from Hope on the Street, Volume 1, released in 2024 while he was enlisted. So that will be fun to talk about. It will be a sort of J-Hope themed episode randomly at the end of May. If you have any thoughts about J-Hope, about the songwriting process, if I got something horribly wrong in this episode and you want to tell me about it, you can email me, but you can also, the best place to reach me is my Blue Sky account. I check it every day, whereas the email I check maybe once a week. Less now because I used to check it when I uploaded videos, and now I used to check it when I uploaded podcasts, but now I don't do that as frequently as I did before, so sometimes it doesn't get checked. So anyway, Blue Sky, I'm there. I do check that. I pull that up every day. So yeah, feel free to reach out, but you can also email me if you don't have a Blue Sky account, because not everybody does. It's a small community there. I'm talking too much. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode. If you'd like to discuss this episode, or next week's song, or have a say in what song gets chosen in the future, you can find me on Patreon and Ko-fi at A Brand New Day Pod. You can also find me on Blue Sky at A Brand New Day Pod, or you can email me at abrandnewdaypod@gmail.com. Thank you. Have a good day.